Hello and welcome. I am Gaius Augustus and I am a multimedia communicator working to teach others how to make their own visual communications, especially communicators interested in communicating science. I have recently done a couple of tutorial videos on how to use Adobe Illustrator, and I thought I might just give you a little bit more information about how to get around Illustrator. So first of all, when you are navigating around your art piece, the main navigation area is the layers panel. So this panel, if you can't see it when you first open, you can go to Windows, Layers, and that'll turn on this panel. You see I have a check mark, meaning that that's on. It's on my screen. These layers hold different types of data. So you can see in this case, these color icons that I'm working with turn on and off when I turn on and off this layer. This little eyeball means that the layer is on and you can see it. And when that goes away, you can turn it off. So you can turn on and off any layer that you have on the screen. If you look, this layer, my guide layer, if I try and move these around or select them or anything like that, I actually can't. And that's because this layer is locked. So this little lock here will actually make it so you can't do any edits to that layer. If I unlock that layer, now I can select this, I can move it around, I can do whatever I need to do with it. So whenever you find a layer that has the lock on it, if you need to edit that layer, you just have to unlock it, and that's where you look to do it. This is also fantastic for guides. So again, this is my guide layer. Once I set up my guide layer, I don't need to edit it anymore. And so I have set that up here so that no matter how I edit this art piece, I don't accidentally move the guides. Now there are other guides that are built into Illustrator. I'm not going to cover that today because I like to make my own guide specific for the art piece that I'm working on. But if you need those, you can actually go to View, Rulers, and Show Rulers, or you can hit Command or Control R. And that just brings up the rulers on the top and left side of your screen. But once you click and drag off of that layer, of the ruler, you see these guides show up. So let's say that you have a piece and you want to zoom in and out on it. You can use the zoom tool or Z on your keyboard, and that allows you to just zoom in and out. So I typically will click and drag to the left or to the right, and that'll allow me to zoom in and out on that particular section of the piece so that I can work on that area of the piece. If I want to zoom in and then move around, I don't have to zoom out. I can actually use the hand tool or H on your keyboard, or you can just hold down the shift key while you're using any other tool, and that will allow you to move around the screen. And so I'm often trying to click and drag and move around the screen or zoom in and make sure that a line looks correct. And so using a mixture of the space bar and whatever tool I'm using allows me to do that very quickly. I also wanted to show you the different types of workspaces there are, because I realized that when you first open Illustrator, it may not be exactly right for you. You may not have all the tools available that you need. So the first thing that I usually do, so all of your workspaces are up here in this drop down, and you can actually create your own workspaces, and you'll probably find that that works best for you. But the first thing I do when I open a new instance of Illustrator on someone else's computer where they've never used it before, or doing some tutoring or training, is have people go up here and choose Essentials Classic. For my purposes and for the purposes of a lot of the people that I train, Essentials Classic seems to work really well for a lot of people to get started. Now if you need other tools, then you can actually customize your tool panel by clicking the three dots over here on the left. All of the tools possible are listed here, and you can actually drag and drop tools from this drop-down list or from underneath a sub-menu into like the main area of the screen. And so if you need to do that, then you need to use this editing tool in order to do that. Now, if you're interested in changing the panels that are over here on the right, like I have all of these different panels that I have here, and then I have a second layer of panels over here, you can actually edit these as well. And the way that you can get a panel that you don't have is by going to Window, and then these are all of the possible panels that you can have. And so if you need a panel and you don't see it, like let's say I want the navigator panel, I just grab it from the window menu, and then I come in here and I get the panel. Now if I need to lock it into place, I could just drag it over here and lock it into whichever part I need, and now whenever I need it, I can just use these different features here in order to get to that panel. And most panels, just so you know, have like a little hamburger menu here where you can go and get other options. So my favorite example of that is actually the stroke panel, because when you first open the stroke panel, it looks like this, where you just get the weight of your line. But there's a bunch of options here that are fantastic, including rounded edges, what to do with corners, whether the stroke should be inside, outside, or in the middle, and even changing the width as the line moves along. So I encourage you to play with this, add some dashed lines, and I'm going to be doing some videos to show you different customizations in the future, but for now I just want you to play around with, I just want to encourage you to play around with these different menu options within the panels that you have. So I think that's all I really wanted to show you today. I appreciate you spending your time with me, and if you're interested in seeing more of these videos, feel free to subscribe. If you head over to gaiusjaugustus.com, you can actually join my free membership and get access to many worksheets, blog posts, and other resources that are available there for free just by coming and signing up for my membership. I would love to have you, and I would love to have you tell me what you would like to see more of. So with that, thank you very much for your time, and keep being awesome. See you next time.